hundreds of thousands of people a month conservatively are coming across our southern border.
Awesome. Fantastic. Based. Yeah. Well, but stop. What are you doing? Alex Jones is giving me whiplash right now. I'm going from being like Joe Biden is the creepiest motherfucker that ever sniffed a hair to Joe Biden is Karl Marx incarnate. Like, what is going on? Time for a little Alex Jones. It's been too long since we've done Alex Jones. I feel like we've been letting him get off the hook for a little while.
And, I'm honored to be joined today by Governor Northam and by two great representatives of the Commonwealth, Congressman Laurie and Congressman Scott. And I want to thank you for all that you do to represent these service veterans, because they're devoted to you. Their family members, the caregivers, survivors will call Virginia home. I'm especially honored to share the stage with Brittany and Jordan and Nathan and Margaret Catherine. I love those barrettes in her hair, man. I tell you what, and look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed. Brittany, you're doing triple duty as a veteran, a military spouse, and a teacher.
The disturbing video you just saw has sent the term #CreepyJoe to the top of the charts on Twitter. And the left has come out to his defense saying, oh, he just made that comment to a 9-year-old because he wanted to make her.
I don't defend that comment. That comment was creepy as fuck. Joe Biden has a long history of being creepy and smelling girls' hair and shit like that. Unwanted touching. No, Joe Biden's a creepy old dude. There you go, Alex. I think we're clear here, right?
Feel good about her crossed legs and how she could be 19. And that could be the case if you didn't have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other examples of him doing similarly creepy things. And not just children, but full-grown women in front of their husbands. People have gotten angry at him.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Between those two, I'm a lot more disturbed by the children than the accusations of cuckoldry that you're kind of implying there. I smelling kids' hair, smelling married women's hair, kind of going to go with the kids should be protected in this one. In front of their husbands. And then he actually pulled out his cock cage and made them wear it in front of him. And then they couldn't get erections because of the cock cage, because again, the penis would be pressed up against the bars of the cage. Definitely something we have to look into, the deep state cabal pulling off here.
Pull their children away on the Senate floor where they would see him coming over. There are so many examples of this, but what's getting missed in the shuffle is another video recently that surfaced where he grabs a little boy around the mouth, pulls him into him, and then whispers in his ear. And the child looks startled, looks concerned like so many others. And the reports we've gotten.
The fuck, Joe? What are you doing? Joe, stop being creepy. What are you doing? You fucking weirdo. Why? You know what? I know his excuse for all of this has been like, well, that was a long time ago, and the rules of conduct have changed. This was never okay. That was never okay. No, that has never been fine. Not in the 50s, never. You don't wrap your hand around someone's face, make them smell your hand as you pull them in for a sniff yourself. Like, what? Jesus Christ, Joe, stop. Stop making me agree with Alex Jones.
From other children is that he says sexually explicit things to them. Then if you look.
All right, well, there's where the Alex Jones ramped it up. You have no idea what they were saying in any of those. But but we have deep reports. Apparently, when he pulls them in for the sniff, he also starts giving them sexually explicit content and commands, and then he brainwashes them. That's part of the process. Like, that's immediately where you're like, okay, now you've ramped it up. Now we've turned up the Alex Jones meter.
Look at Hunter Biden's laptop with naked photos of him and his niece, and the other reports coming out of the family.
Wait, what? It was Hunter Biden and prostitutes. Was his niece a prostitute? Am I missing something? What the fuck?
Out of his daughter's diary about being sexually abused by him, she says, you begin to realize that this family is extremely bizarre. We see the same type of reports, the same type of stories coming out on a routine basis, not just about Joe Biden, not just about Hunter, but other members of their family. And why is that so important? Because these are the type of people that corrupt mafias and foreign governments.
It's so weird that, like, if you want to say that what Joe Biden has been doing his entire lifetime and career is creepy as fuck, I'm on board. You got me there, right? If you want to get into this whole adultery equals evil human, like, that's never made sense to me. Like, you're a shitty husband. That doesn't make you a bad world leader. That makes you a shitty husband, you know?
And intelligence agencies want to promote and fund because they're compromised. They're easily controlled. Yes, what Creepy Joe did to the little girl is creepy. But what he did to the little boy is frightening. Because if you study FBI training manuals and other materials that are available, you will learn that is classic predator tactics. And he's been caught on tape doing similar things to other children as well. If you ask yourself, why are there so many perverts, so many child predators in government at high levels of power? It's because foreign...
Has he once reported on Matt Gaetz? Even once? The guy is very credibly accused of running an actual child sex trafficking ring in which, like, minors were transported across state lines and then plowed with drugs. Has he ever brought that up? Is that ever going to be mentioned? Are any of the Republicans who've been accused of pedophilia? There's so many Republicans have been credibly accused of pedophilia at one point or another. Some of them have lifetimes of pedophilic behavior. Absolute lifetimes of pedophilic, and it hasn't destroyed their careers. They're able to keep on running. Alabama.
Governments, intelligence agencies, mafias groom and promote individuals like Joe Biden or like Dennis Hastert. And
God, Joe Biden is so creepy. It's so hard defending him against Alex Jones. Like Alex Jones makes it a little easy because every now and then he'll be like, and that's why he was secretly giving them messages. He would whisper into the ears about pedophilic content. Like, okay, all right, fine. You've gone far beyond the pale. But then every time you see another photo, I'm like, oh God, he's so goddamn creepy.
Others. And put them in positions of power because they're compromised, because they're blackmailable, because they're controlled. And finally, the most important point of all.
Oh, good.
Joe Biden doesn't just behave like a predator. Joe Biden is one of the greatest child smuggling predators, not just America, but the world has ever seen. Joe Biden, as a candidate 8 months ago, told the world from the debate stage that if he was elected president, people from all over the world should immediately rush the borders.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
Once he got into office, his spokesperson, Psaki, said that if you have a child with you, when you get here, we'll let you in. And in thousands of cases,
That's it. That's the evidence that he's running the largest pedophile ring in American history. That's more than the Catholic Church.
that have already been documented in just the last few months, people are bringing children they've kidnapped with no identification and being allowed into the United States. Hundreds of thousands of people a month conservatively are coming across our southern border.
Awesome. Fantastic. Based. Yeah. Well, but stop. What are you doing? Alex Jones is giving me whiplash right now. I'm going from being like Joe Biden is the creepiest motherfucker that ever sniffed a hair to Joe Biden is Karl Marx incarnate. Like, what is going on? You always try to make him out to be this like incredibly progressive candidate when he's really not.
And more than half of them have small...
Well, I guess just by definition, if you are governing to the left of Obama, you're basically Stalin. Because he is. Joe Biden, I would say, has positioned himself, at least in terms of what he's been accomplishing so far, to the left of Obama. So that's basically Vladimir Lenin.
All children with them, many of which are not even with a family member and who have been kidnapped from their home countries as far south as Brazil and...
I also love how he's doubling down on this when it got totally debunked. When he went there and did that whole like, I am standing in front of the car, I'm blocking the car because these are pedophiles trying to transport kids, I'm making sure that these pedophiles will not be released. And everyone was like, that was a fucking church, dog. That was a church helping out immigrants. You were blocking a mother with their own children, scaring the fuck out of all of them. Yeah, here's this like giant sweaty white guy sweating all over himself, being like, pedophiles, pedophiles. Like, yeah, no, that's gonna scare some kids.
Countries in Africa as well. And there's Joe Biden saying immediately surge the border to break our border. And then Joe Biden ordered the FBI to tell ICE and to tell Customs and Border Patrol that they are not to do background checks of people running the migrant centers or on those that are picking up the children, putting them in vans and airplanes to be transported to the interior of the country.
I mean, even if this was the stretch you were about to make, you have to add the pedophile element. That's got to be added in there. You got to pepper that one in. You got to be careful, though, Alex Jones. You've had a lot of trouble with this stuff, you know? Slander, libel, doesn't really seem to go your way. I don't think you can keep using the excuse that, like, you're all, it's all an act. You're just a clown on the internet.
When is America going to find its soul again? When is America going to find its will again? The United Nations all over the world has been caught kidnapping and smuggling children.
What's the over-under on the ad at this stream? Or sorry, the ad at this video? It's going to be something to do with, like, my money's going to be on Brain Force Plus because the sales of that haven't been doing as good as everything else lately. But it could still be some of the other ones, right? It could be that, like, their bum piss bleach synthesizer. It could also be paleo monkey skin, some of that weird chicken feed, the bone mulch. Could be that one. Whichever one has, like, a whole bunch of turpentine mixed in with, like, you know, rat feces. Whichever one that one is, that one will probably be on there too.
Out of disadvantaged third world countries to be put in absolutely horrible conditions across the world. Many used as sex slaves, many used as forced labor, and many of them killed. And so what you see Joe Biden doing now is simply going along with this larger globalist
I mean, that's a half-truth. There is absolutely no question that a lot of the individuals on those caravans are getting sexually assaulted, but that in large part has to do with the fact that you were talking about thousands of people who are transporting themselves at great danger to their lives and their families' lives to try and arrive somewhere with virtually no protection along the way. And guess what? They're sexually molested when they get to the other side by ICE. By ICE agents. When they get to America, there is a huge problem with systemic rape and abuse of children at the hands of ICE agents. And I'm not even talking about a handful of cases. I'm talking thousands and thousands of cases of sexual abuse of children at the hands of ICE agents. So yeah, they're arriving here, and then the government officials are the ones doing the diddling.
Operation, because he likes it. What you see on the surface with Joe Biden is what you get on the interior. So it's up to all Americans and all people of the world, regardless of race, color, creed, religion, to realize this is a crime against humanity, a crime against our children, a crime that angers and enrages God and should anger and enrage us as well. And so we need the legislatures and the Congress and the courts, and we need our religious leaders and our business leaders, and we ourselves need to get involved and go to the border and peacefully document what's happening. And when we see child smuggling, it is our right, and again, it is our duty to call the police and to peacefully through.
He's showing the video footage. This is what got thoroughly debunked, by the way, where he was basically freaking an entire family out who are already very scared. They've already probably got all kinds of PTSD from the journey just to get here, and then jumping in front of the car and then being like, you know, I'm somehow going to stop this pedophile ring.
Civil disobedience, do our best to block the transport of these children. The globalists are not bringing these children in because they love them or care about them. They're bringing them in to exploit them. They're bringing them in to be slaves. They're bringing them in to be sexually abused. They're bringing them
peaceful. Citizens arrest.
Men to be political pawns to form a permanent political underclass. And that's the facts. Joe Biden is the biggest child smuggler in modern history, maybe in world history. So he's not just groping kids in public. He's not just making sexual comments to little girls. He's not just grabbing little boys by the face and whispering in their ear. He is destroying our border. He is working with child smugglers and sex traffickers, and he is committing crimes against humanity. I'm Alex Jones, and this is the InfoWar. If you don't take action, if you don't spread the word, and if you don't start saying no to these type of activities, you are complicit. Bioremediation is a process used to treat contaminating water, soil, and subsurface material by accelerating naturally occurring environmental conditions to stimulate growth of microorganisms and degrade targeted pollutants. For the first time, the BioPros are bringing to the public market a suite of bioremediation products to the everyday consumer. Their first product they are launching is called Bioseptic Pro.
I knew it was going to be the bleach shit.
A product specifically designed to establish.
To be fair, I did throw, that was like a buckshot of predictions. That was a scatter shot. There was a shotgun blast of things going on there. So, you know, But anyways, let's learn more.
Establish a healthy septic system. Bioseptic Pro contains live microorganisms, not traditional enzymes like its competitors. This stuff lives in your septic system. It's really like probiotics for your septic tank, and is at least 100 times more effective than similar microbial products due to its revolutionary patented delivery system. Bioseptic Pro contains no chemical ingredients and no genetically modified organisms. Visit thebiopros.com today and protect your septic system. That's thebiopros.com. This is for anaerobic septic tanks, and the job it does is unparalleled. Thebiopros.com.
I mean, nowadays, you don't have to like do a cleanse for your liver and a cleanse for your own body. You also have to cleanse your sewage. So you gotta do a holistic cleanse for your sewage. Got to make sure there's no chemicals in there. Make sure your sewage system is completely organic. That's a new one. Thanks, Alex Jones. Hopefully you don't live in a city where this entire practice is just kind of like throwing money literally down the toilet. Yeah, because it goes to a public sewage system. Hopefully you live on a property where you have your own septic tank, you know, where your fecal matter goes right into your backyard, you know, like they do on farms. That would make a lot more sense. Otherwise, yeah, you're just literally pouring money down the drain. Oh god, that was the InfoWars. Here's a unrelated but kind of fun piece of news from the Daily Beast today. InfoWars, Alex Jones. I had a form of psychosis while pushing Sandy Hook conspiracy theories. Interesting. During a deposition for a number of lawsuits filed by the parent of Sandy Hook victims, InfoWars' Alex Jones said he had a form of psychosis while he was pushing conspiracy theories about the school shooting, the Austin American-Statesman reports. Jones reportedly said at the time that he almost had a form of psychosis where I basically thought everything was staged. Even now, I'm learning a lot of things, they're just not staged. Jones blamed his mental state on the trauma of the media and the corporate line so much, saying that he couldn't trust anything anymore, and he didn't really know what reality was. He also admitted to the lawyer of one of the suing parents that it was susceptible to the mass groupthink, and now he thinks that it's more in the middle. All right. So that's where I stand, Jones said. That's where I stand. Despite claiming that his mental state altered his worldview at one point, he claimed that he could question big public events as part of his First Amendment rights. I believe children died. I believe there was a mass shooting, Jones said, adding that experts he's spoken to include retired FBI agents and other people in high up in Central Intelligence agencies told him that there was a cover-up in Sandy Hook. That's always his references, by the way. You know, it's always like, well, we have agents at the highest level. We've spoken to top members of the CIA. I was like, oh, can we know who they are? No, I have to protect my sources. Of course, yes, no, I'm sure top government officials would trust you to reveal all their deepest secrets to. They could speak to, you know, the Post or the Times, but if you're gonna be a real whistleblower, you got to go full Alex Jones.
Hey, do you like movies? Do you like Serfs? Do you want movies and Serfs watching the movies? So then come over to the new channels. It's the Serfs Cinema. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Can you do the thing, you know, that you up and comment and all those things that help us out in the algorithm that controls every aspect of our lives? Also, if you happen to have a Facebook account, can you delete it? Like, just delete it. You should probably delete your Facebook account because it's not a great company. But hey, if you can't do that for whatever reason, I understand. And could you also go to facebook.com/thesurftimes then and give us a little like and a follow. We're just trying to push back against the fact that people like Ben Shapiro happen to dominate the platform entirely. And when everyone asks why do older generations believe the things they believe, one of the problems is the majority of them on social media use Facebook. So to counter that, we're just going to be on there too now. Also, if you happen to have a union or a worker co-op or even a leftist project, podcast, website, Zoom, MySpace, it doesn't matter. We will advertise it for free on this channel. All you got to do is go to weareserfs.com and use the forms that we got there, weareserfs.com. Thanks, everybody.
To our God, Xander Corvus, we shall build ornate temples in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, and the Tim Caucus, we aim to be the best court jesters your money can buy. To our lords, Evan Nudie, Trevor R., Alexander Thaler, Ryan Lubin, Tofox, Jeff Lamb, Sint Forzi, we are your humble vassals, ready to till your land. To our Knights of the Round Table, Omni, Mr. Anderson, Riley and Anna, Ryan Craig, Multimondi, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophoja, Saren 42, Chronic to Hemphog, The Great Houdini, Bone Jenny, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Jay Fraser Cartwright, Jimmy Bignuts, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Yopi, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Constance Joyce Lacheris. We raise our glass of mead and we salute you.